Hello, my name is Terry Chandler from Rugerheim Kennels. I'm going to be holding the snake clinic this weekend, and I wanted to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing here. To start out with, I am a professional dog trainer. I don't train dogs as a hobby or when I get home from work. I do it full time, and I have been doing it full time for 40 plus years. I've been holding snake clinics for about 25 years. The reason we started snake clinics is every year we would get one or two dogs bit by a rattlesnake. And today we have a dog worth $20,000, and then tomorrow we have a dog that's worth next to nothing. If the dog survived the snake bite, many times it rendered them damage to the point, their body damage, that they couldn't compete anymore. So we tried to develop a method where we could teach dogs to stay away from rattlesnakes. We tried numerous methods. We tried bull snakes, we tried dead rattlesnakes, we tried putting snakes in cages, we tried all sorts of things. And what we found out is that there was only one thing that worked, and that was a live rattlesnake set out in the open in a manner that your dog would come across it if you were out hiking or out hunting. So when we tried the rattlesnakes in the cage, it worked. If a dog came across a snake in a cage, it wouldn't go near it. When we tried dead rattlesnakes, same thing. If they came across a dead rattlesnake, they wouldn't get near it. But a live one, oh, game on. We tried using bull snakes, and again, it worked. If a dog came across a bull snake, they wouldn't get near it. But the first rattlesnake they came across, they went up to investigate and they got bit. So we have to use live rattlesnakes. So what do we do? How do we make it where our dogs can't be harmed by these rattlesnakes? Well, after working with a lot of numerous people, we finally found some people that dealt with venomous snakes for Hollywood movies, and they worked with us and showed us how to do this. What we do the day before the clinic is we milk all the rattlesnakes and we remove all of the venom that they have. Then we remove the two main fangs, and this is very important. We go back in their gums and remove all the backup fangs. There are times that we've gotten as many as 10 backup fangs from a rattlesnake. So that's what we do, and it works. We are experts. In 25 plus years of holding these clinics, we've never had an accident. So the snakes are harmless. So how does it work? Well, we put the snake out in the open where the dog will casually walk by it. We're going to have the owner or a helper in our clinic walk the dog by the rattlesnake, and when the dog comes in contact with the snake, which is sees it, hears it, and smells it, and in a perfect storm feels it. I love it when the snake strikes the dog, because then the dog has no doubt what just hurt it. At that time, we stimulate the dog with electronic collar, and the dog thinks that the snake hurt them. From that point on, we have replaced curiosity with abject terror. The dog is no longer curious about rattlesnakes, they're afraid of them. Now, I'm going to tell you in advance, we do stimulate the dog. I wish there was another way to do this. We've tried every other way. But you could take the dog through a long process and maybe over 6 months or a year, teach them verbally to stay away from a snake. In the meantime, your dog could get bit 2 or 3 times, and sometimes even that doesn't work. So that's what we do. Does it work? Well, I can tell you personally, in the 25 years I've been snake breaking all of my dogs, I have had no dogs get bit. Now, unfortunately, in life, nothing is 100%. I can't guarantee you absolutely that your dog will never get bit after going through my clinic, because there are dogs that accidentally step on a snake or don't realize the snake is near them and they get bit accidentally. But what I can guarantee you is if your dog knows that snake is around, sees it, hears it, or smells it, it will leave it alone. And that's our object here, is to teach your dog that snakes don't like them, that snakes are bad guys. So that's the object. So how do we do it? Again, we put the snake out in an open area. We'll have you walk your dog by the snake, downwind of the snake. I will be with you. My granddaughter Athena will be there, and she will be working with the snake to make sure that the snake is rattling and agitated and warning the dog. And when I am absolutely sure that the dog is aware of the snake and knows that it's there, I will stimulate your dog. Now, don't run to your dog. Don't tell your dog it's okay. It's not okay. This is between your dog and the snake. Let your dog figure it out. After we have done the initial test, and I'm sure that it worked, we will take your dog back, let your dog sit for a while. We'll move the snake to another location, and then we will take your dog in and retest it without a shock collar so that I am sure that your dog does not like snakes anymore. The second thing about the retest is we always tell people, pay very close attention to how your dog responds. I have numerous letters and numerous emails from people who've been through my clinic, and they tell me how they noticed that their dog had similar behavior while they were hiking or hunting or whatever, and they removed the dog from the area, went over and looked, and by golly, here's a 5-foot diamondback rattlesnake that would have bit them had their dog not warned them. So after this clinic, your dog is the canary in the mine. It will tell you that something is up, it'll tell you there's a rattlesnake there, and it will save you from getting bit. If you have any questions, bring them to the clinic. We'll be glad to answer them. And I hope that I've answered all of your questions. One other side note that I will mention. Again, I am a professional dog trainer. I use different stimulations for different breeds. For instance, if it's a very large dog, we'll use maybe a little bit more stimulation than a very small dog, unless it's a Jack Russell, and then we have to really get after those boys. We look at the ages of the dogs. If a dog is a very young dog, we're going to be careful. If a dog is a very old dog, we're going to again be careful. But we do it according to the age of the dog and according to the breed. So if you have any questions, bring them to the clinic. We'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.